to try to win on like a word technicality because you understand you've lost the logic of anything else that you're trying to argue.
No.
That is what is happening.
Our position is
100% you understand that that's what's happening.
Correct.
I think
you're the one who has to create.
No, that's why I've never tried to call you out or catch you on like, oh, but you said this word, so that means you're wrong. I've never done that in this conversation.
Because words matter, and we're talking about.
This isn't a conversation about words matter. It's trying to catch me like a technicality in a word because you understand logically.
We're talking about whether or not human beings should be able to live or die. They actually matter, and what you're harboring, Destiny, is an innate bias and privilege against children who are younger than 20 weeks in the womb.
True.
And so you keep using dehumanizing terms or saying it's not alive, and then you're like, well, wait a minute, I meant it was alive, but I just said it wasn't alive. Well, which one is it? I think part of it is, as Lila was referring to, it's kind of written on the human heart, and as someone who has a son yourself, and you've seen ultrasounds, we all know what is inside of a mother is a human being, and it is alive, and it is unique, and it is precious. We don't always like to admit that because that human being could be highly inconvenient to us.
Children are highly inconvenient, but
absolutely, children can be inconvenient to some people. But what you're harboring is this privilege and bias against a child before a child turns 20 weeks.
It's developmental discrimination or age discrimination.
Gotcha. And I'll reiterate my point. I am biased. I'm biased against beings that do not exhibit consciousness or have the ability to exhibit consciousness.
Unless they're in a coma.
That's how you decide somebody is dead. Once somebody is dead, I'm just going to keep. You can cut us eventually, but I'm not going to let her ramble for like 5 minutes and then not repeat my argument because she's just repeating her argument. So I'll just restate mine. I do discriminate against things that don't have a conscious experience because there's nobody being harmed. When you abort something that's 10 weeks old, you can't speak of a person that is being harmed. It was a clump of cells and it's gone. Just like when you stab a corpse, there is no person there that's being harmed because the conscious experience is gone.
That is wrong because the corpse is dead and the human being in the womb is alive, and
the corpse is dead because
the corpse is dead. Their body is no longer
exhibiting a conscious experience.
No, their body is no longer working in a coordinated fashion. So I think it's very insincere for you to continue to say that the 19-week child in the womb is the same as a dead human being, because we all know in this room that the 19-week child in the womb is not like a corpse. But you want to keep saying that because it helps you justify your position that abortion should be legal up to 20 weeks, because you have to take that discriminatory view based on age, based on development, in order to justify your beliefs.
And you can use like all the loaded words.
But you're right, Destiny. Your position is correct. You believe that children up to 20 weeks can be killed, and you don't give a shit about them. So congratulations, you have been philosophically consistent with your beliefs. What I'm telling you,
what you're telling me is that you think if an 11-year-old child is raped, that person should be forced to carry that child to term because otherwise it would be immoral to abort a clump of cells that don't even have an experience.
What I'm saying is, your position is a reckless. Excuse me. What I'm saying is your position is reckless. It creates varying degrees of personhood, which I have said over and over again, leads to awful things throughout all of human history, and can't hold up when medical technology will prove you wrong, as I proved you wrong multiple times about a child who can feel pain at 12 and a half weeks, toddlers and twins who can actually interact with each other at 14 weeks.
Okay. And I'm going to go with the position that doesn't compel.
You are correct.
I'm going to go with the position that doesn't compel 11-year-old girls to forcibly be carrying a child to term. That's my position.
I have a clarifying question for Destiny. Yeah. So if consciousness is everything to you, and anything you do before a child is conscious or a human is conscious in the womb is totally fine, would it be morally acceptable for somebody to intentionally, maybe that was like some fetish they had or something, intentionally get pregnant, and this has actually happened horribly, intentionally get pregnant to intentionally get abortions, but they're doing the abortions at 19 weeks. So as a fully formed embryo a fully formed fetus can feel, and you're okay if that person gets abortion after abortion. It's totally morally it's totally morally acceptable.
Go for it. Yeah, I am. Thank you.
Can be killed.
So I could have 30 abortions.
30. You could have 35.
On 19-week-old babies.
Unlimited abortions, however many your body can produce.
And you think it's completely morally acceptable?
Yep, 100%.
Okay, well, it is a consistent.
Well, let's try to get through some of these chats.
Horrific,
we are.
I personally think arresting the 11-year-old for murder for getting an abortion after getting raped by a dad. I think that's horrific. But
well, that's
we all have
now you're bringing up other arguments, Destiny.
Well,
you said it's consciousness.
What do you mean?
Was your argument against abortion?
He would actually arrest the 11-year-old. He said if the abortion was past 20.
I would if they're past 20 weeks.
So
but in my world, she would have the opportunity to at least get examined and then have an abortion.
But in the real world, typically you don't find out when you're a rape survivor of a very young girl who probably is not having regular menstruation. You usually don't know you're pregnant until well into the second
maybe
trimester.
For rape survivors, we should have better support in society for them, like immediately screening for pregnancies and stuff.
But you don't know. They don't know. Typically, the fact that they're raped isn't known. They don't share that. They're not like calling the police right away. They're 11 years old.
Well, they better make it known then. I don't know. You have to figure out some way to do it. Are you trying to change my whole position because of the system that exists as is?
Well,
like sometimes an 11-year-old might be forced to carry a child to term and they don't have the ability to get external help for their actual child. That doesn't mean you should be able to murder the baby.
I'm glad you're against murdering.
I try to be. That's like the position I'm the most proud of. Yes, I am very anti-child murdering.
Hold on, I just got to come in. I do just have to come in. Let's try to get through these chats just because we are running a little bit late here, and then we're gonna have to wrap up here pretty soon. So okay, let's try to just get through these chats. If you do want to say anything in response, I just ask you keep it brief.
Yes,
that way we can just get through all of these.
Gotcha.
All right, we have Matt L here. Thank you for the $49 super chat. Appreciate it, man. Better come example. The patient had a traumatic brain injury where if left to its own devices will heal in approximately 9 months to a point of regaining consciousness as you have defined it. Would termination of this human be acceptable?
No.
I believe this is... No? Okay. All right, Matt.
Okay, why is that the case then for a child?
Because there was a conscious experience. You still have the capacity to deploy it. There's some healing process, and then it will deploy it again.
Back and forth on this brief.
It's okay. We went through it. There's no answer for why.
The answer is the child has not had a conscious experience. There's no conscious experience to speak of.
But there's no logical reason why.
That is logical. It didn't exist.
But why does that provide not having the moral
I am
protection
Stephen.
of
When
the
I
law?
go to sleep, there was a Stephen, and there will be a Stephen. If I have a traumatic injury, there was Stephen, there will be a Stephen. When I was an embryo, there was never a Stephen to speak of.
Destiny, you've said that many, many times.
I have,
the
because
point
it's logical.
that we have said is within weeks the child
within weeks, so it hasn't yet.
But
whether
why
it's
does
5
it
seconds
matter?
or 5 years.
But why does that matter?
Because it's not there yet.
But the child is there. It just hasn't developed that
acknowledge
The conscious experience is not there yet. Whether it be 5 years, 5 seconds, 5 millennia beforehand, it's not there yet.
And you're also just denying that children, which we know scientifically actually have REM cycle sleep. And
First of all, I don't even know that. I don't even believe that. Okay. I doubt we even know that.
Science.
All right, we have Fernando Marrero Jr. Hey, thank you, man. He says whatever. Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Title drop.
There you go. Title drop. Yo, Rams. Thank you for the Canadian 69. Appreciate it. The youngest age of fetus medically proven to have survived outside the mother with medical support should certainly be considered human. Okay, Rams. Thank you. We have Vanessa Tam. Thank you for the Canadian 50.
Oh, interesting.
Merci
People are
beaucoup.
saying that the REM cycle sleep for fetuses is around 23 weeks, which would actually be consistent with what I think that conscious experience. So cool.
We have Vanessa Tam here. Birthing the baby fetus is the only way it's coming out of the mom. So why not help the pregnant mom during pregnancy, and she can birth the baby live and adopted versus dead and dismembered?
Well, there's this whole thing called So you guys
that's exactly what we do.
You probably know a little bit about this. Okay, there's this thing called pregnancy. Okay, there's a whole 9-month process between actually getting pregnant. It's called pregnancy.
Oh, thank you for that.
There's a whole period in there that sucks to deal with. Varying levels of suckiness, but there's probably a good 6 to 7 months there of time that can be saved, and a whole bunch of irrevocable changes to the human body or whatever that you could probably avoid if you don't go through that whole period. But
All right.
Destiny, death is defined as the complete and irreversible cessation of brain activity.
Sure.
That's not the same to say that if that's the definition of death. If that's the definition of death, a child weeks before consciousness at 20 to 24 weeks in the womb doesn't have that definition of death. It
doesn't even have the brain activity.
But it doesn't have irreversible, and it doesn't have a cessation of brain activity that will never come back. It's going to develop its brain activity shortly.
I agree.
A child has brain
waves. It will develop. And once it develops it, I'm going to care a whole lot about it.
Do you see that even your definition of, I'm defining it the same way that death is defined, they're not the same. Do you see that?
No.
You don't see that.
You could have a definition of going broke is when you lose all of your money. But guess what? You're also broke if you don't have any money, you don't get any money.
He has a new definition of death. Death is what he's saying. He's made his own definition of death.
What is your definition
of death? Just for this, whatever one helps me win the debate.
Destiny, can you hold up your doodles?
Do you acknowledge
to the camera?
that
it's different if someone is dead and all their brain activity has ceased and will not come back versus a child in the womb, an embryo in the womb who has the potential and it actually has the capacity for brain activity in time.
Okay.
Do you see the difference?
I know there's a difference, but this difference is not relevant. The
important point. That's the whole debate, though, Destiny.
It's not. The point
because you're saying it's morally okay to kill the child that has the capacity for brain activity but hasn't
who is
developed
being
yet.
harmed when you abort a 16-week-old fetus?
Hold on.
You're destroying that 16-week-old.
Here, let's just try to get through these chats. If you want to bring it up at the end, we'll try. All right, we have Real Life Outdoors. Hey, thank you, Dest. Do you think there's a philosophical significant? I think that's what he did.
Do you think there is a philosophical significance in non-existence, existence, and cessation of existence? Why do you feel humans put so much importance on endangered eagle eggs than human fetuses? Genuine question, do you feel it's purely a population issue?
A lot going on there.
Quick responses to these super chats.
There's differences between all of these, but there is no quick response to that. It's super complicated. Why do we care about endangered eagle eggs? We probably feel some obligation to save like unique animals or some things in environments, and that's why we're obsessed